Hey everybody, what's up? How's it going? This is Victor, your dating trainer. How's everybody doing? Have a seat. I want to talk to you guys about a little bit about myself. Now, I'm Victor. I'm about like 6'1". I'm about 200 pounds. And I want to talk to you about like the first time that I actually like came here to Canada and the struggles that I actually had to go through to actually become who I am. I did not know how to speak English. Okay. So my first few years was to actually observe people and their behavior and how they acted. I didn't know how to speak, so therefore I had to go with the most primitive type of communication, which is the behavioral and the body language and how people act. And I noticed that a lot of people were like the way that they speak and then the way that they talk and the way that they move, they would either attract or like repel the women, right? But coming from a third world country, because I'm from Venezuela, as I said, I'm from the north of the South, from North America, from South America, but on the top of the globe, right? On top of South America. And we used to get taught a lot of things, and like the way that we behaved was a different way than most Hispanics would actually be. So we learned a lot of things that I will speak in other videos. But when I came to Canada, like let's start from here. When I came to Canada, I didn't know how to speak English. Like maybe I had to learn behavior, speech, and all of this within like when I was like 12. I'm a little older than that now, but we're gonna start at 12 years old, then proceed from there. When I came to the country, I didn't know how to speak English, and my only method was verbal, physical communication. Uh, the way that I would actually talk to somebody was if they were like happy and excited, I would act happy and excited along with them. If they were sad, I would act sad. Oh yeah, what's going on? If they were asking, calling me out or calling me or whatever, like I would know because I'd be like, oh, come here, you, yeah, you, okay, me, I would come in. But other than that, like it was like fairly primitive, the communication that I had with them. And as everybody has it, like when they see a person that's like not from somewhere that they actually know, like they become intrigued and like they start asking questions, and the more questions they ask, the less I could answer because I didn't know except yes and no. And the yes was like a yes, and the no was like a no. So it was like a little hard to communicate. And like the only thing I could do was like nod or shake my head because I didn't know what was going on. So a lot of the girls actually like took it upon themselves to come and like talk to me and be like the representatives. And like I used to talk to a lot of the white girls that used to come and like they'll be like, oh hi, like they'll talk, and I would listen and listen and listen, but I would not be able to answer. Like they even like gave me notes as if I was supposed to like figure that out because they wrote how they spoke, so they had their lingo in like the written word. So instead of like saying sort of, they would use like sorta or like hey how are you? Like they would say how are ya? Like instead of like it's writing it how it would be written in an English class. So I would, like even then to actually like learn and comprehend some of the letters that I used to get was a little hard. So I didn't know what they meant until like a few like years back, and then I was like, oh, that's what they meant. Jeez. But if that was the case, then like I would have known, and I would have known how they felt. But I didn't know until whatever, until I learned how to speak English properly, like the proper way, and like learn the lingo and the slang. But other than that, I was like new to the country, new to like land, like new to like people, new to like different cultures. mind you, back home, like we have my best friend was as white and pale as the whitest guy ever, and my second best friend was as dark as night. So we had like a mix, and I was the in between. So it looked like a Benetton ad, right? But whatever the case is, like it was a back and forth on it, and I came over here, and there was a lot of segregation. A lot of like whites wouldn't talk to whites. A lot of blacks wouldn't talk to a lot of other races. A lot of whites wouldn't talk to a lot of races. Sorry, and a lot of like Hispanics, which was like only eight of us at that time. We would like keep to ourselves. And where I used to live in downtown Toronto was mainly Chinese and Vietnamese. So to even learn English was a big risk and a big like no because nobody else would understand anyways, so it didn't really matter. But as time has it, like we moved out from there, and everything started like coming to. We came to another place that was more multicultural, and I started learning different languages and different like people, different behavior, right? Because different cultures will teach you different things, different aspects of things, and that's something that like you actually have to like learn, like unless you live in like an all white town or an all black town, or you just don't want to like associate with any other race, which for me it was a big shock. I was like, all right, I'm from Venezuela, like I'm coming from a multicultural place. Everybody spoke Spanish, but there were blacks and whites, and in between we had Chinese people there. We had like everything. We had tourists coming over as well, but it wasn't like okay, like we're Hispanics, we all look like me, like this color, and we all like do one thing, and like we all do like the same thing. Yeah, we're all pissed at the government, but we were not racist towards each other. We were not segregating each other to the level that oh whites with whites and blacks with blacks and like everything else like in between like separate each other. When I got here, it was like the Chinese people would hang around with the Chinese, and like the Vietnamese with the Vietnamese, the whites with the whites, and the blacks with the blacks, and like the Hispanics with the Hispanics. And even with the Hispanic community, like I'm talking about, like my own experience was like very segregated as well, because the Salvadorians would hang around with their own kind, the Ecuadorians with their own kind, the Central Americans on its own would hang around with their own kind, and like the South Americans with their own. So for me, it was like a huge misunderstanding of cultures and races, because I thought everybody was equal, but I guess not. Because I used to try to talk to the blacks, and they would be like, "Yo, get away from me!" And like same thing with the whites, even though I didn't know, but I knew body language. Body language is like, yo, like all right, like you're not speaking my language, so back off, right? But even then, something attracted the other races and cultures and different things. I guess because I couldn't speak as a man, like women saw that as sexy or something. Like they're like, oh my god, like this guy can't talk, so let's talk his ear off, and all he's gonna do is not. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's one of the things that I was like, whoa, like why is it so easy for me to talk to women that I don't know what they're saying? And it came to me. It's like, all right, like these girls don't want me like giving them information or feedback. They just want to like talk. So I let them talk. Like let me like learn the language. Let me learn the language across the time, and figure out what they're trying to say first of all. And I remember one instance, but I'll tell you in the next episode because right now my time is coming to an end. But that's a little bit of my life. Hopefully that was entertaining. And if you have any comments, like please share. If you're from another country or another culture or another, like if you're in Canada and you're from another culture other than Hispanic, or like or another ethnic group, as they want it to be called, to be politically correct, like let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, share, and like, and I'll get back to you guys, and hopefully you guys give me some good feedback. All right, have yourself a good day. and enjoy. This is Victor, your dating trainer, and embark with me on a journey to figure out how to attract that date, that one unicorn that you want to pick up. Peace.